Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Precision Hoops with the Hoop God and, of course, my man Steam Engine. How you doing, brother?
I'm well, sir. How are you? You can give like a real quick countdown roll now if you want.
Uh,
No, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's go.
Bet. So,
We got it.
uh, so for this episode, we will be speaking on the whole Shannon Sharpe alleged audio clip of his. Um, how do I want to phrase this? Sexual activity.
What's the Jada Pinkett thing called?
Yeah, the entanglement. Well, I won't say entangled
Entanglement.
because he's single. So technically, he can't be tangled because he's single. So
It means whatever they needed to mean at that time. I think.
I agree. So um, now, when I initially saw this, right, because I'm going to speak on my perspective, I want yours, and I want to be brief. I never believed it from the start. The reason why, in order for you to go live on Instagram, there are a lot of prompts you have to get past. It's not like you just push a button and say, "Hey, I go live," or you pocket dial somebody and ask. No. Because again, you have to get whatever it is you're going to post, and then they're going to ask you a specific question. Then they're going to ask a follow-up question before you actually go live. So when he said that, I'm like, man, if this ain't the biggest load of BS I've ever heard, like, come on, man, just own it, right? So I'm hearing all this, and I'm just like, I said, this is strategic. You know why this is strategic? With Instagram, there's too many complexities at play. But you have to put that out because you got to subdue people. Well, subdue the people who can be subdued, right? And I'm just looking like, now I'm gonna get now. To be fair, that was his team that put the tweet out saying that he was hacked because he later came back and he recanted it. So initially when it was put out, like I said, I'm assuming it was him. It came from his account. I saw that and I was like, bro, stop the cap. You know damn well you didn't get hacked. But lo and behold, then he comes out and admits to it, and then he has his whole. Watch this. He can no longer call that show Nightcap. Now that show has officially. You have to change the name to the Night Clap, seeing that he was clapping the cheeks on Instagram. So now I'm sorry, Shannon. Listen, you could. I'm trying to help you out. This is a suggestion. Change it to the nightcap, night clap. Okay.
Clap.
So
Wear a condom so you don't get the night clap.
Bro. No, I want to know your perspective though when you first heard
it. I mean, like people have relations. And as we've been talking, I've been trying to figure out how to live stream from Instagram. I've never actually done it. And it is like, you have to go out of your way to do it. Like there's several, well, I'm going to steal your turn. Watch this. There's several strokes, bars. See, you got that? There's several strokes you have to hit to be able to get. That's stupid. I'm sorry. I was bad. There's several keystrokes you have to hit to get to that point, and it is complex. I mean, are we still really saying we were hacked in 2024? It's like, you think North Korea has access to your social media to get you doing this one thing one time? And then he came out. I don't remember if you said this or not already, but he came out and said that the whole thing, about it being a hack was just a publicity deal. And it's like, all right, well, so you lied. Are we not like holding ourselves accountable? Why isn't there, I mean, at the very least being like, yo, wait a second, like, how can we trust what comes out of your camp now moving forward forever? Mm-hmm. It's like when it's like when all those documents about Area 51 got declassified a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden it's like, oh snap, like all that stuff the government said didn't exist actually did exist. Confirming they lied to us, but nobody raises it above that. It's ugly. I'm gonna go deep here. Ooh, bars, go deep here. And say that I think part of this is a rollout to defend people thinking he is homosexual.
Agreed.
And we're gonna get to this in a little bit, but it was joked about even during the podcast that you and I watched. you know, Cat Williams calling him and saying, you know, you're not gay and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, for Shannon to even bring that up, I might use this word a lot, is overcompensatory. And I could care less, you know, what his orientation is. It just, like, again, it just seems like more than a coincidence that these things are happening now.
Now, I want to reference a great playwright, poet, author, the great William Shakespeare. So he quoted this back then, and it still rings to this day. All the world is a stage, and we're nothing but merely players and actors, you know, awaiting our exit. Some may stay longer than others. So now that I see a lot of these things play out, now I just hit the quote, right, in my mind, because I'm looking at how all this gets set up. Like you just said, the whole, you know, him being loyal to the alphabet mafia. Like I said, I don't particularly care what your orientation is. Just don't lie about it. I would rather you just be open and honest. You know, don't try to, you know, sell us a false bill of goods. That's my particular thing. But hey, you know, to each his own. But when I see that you first, you know, set this up as I got hacked. No, I didn't get hacked. Hey, that was me. I didn't send this. It's Jordan. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, there's too much like narratives being spent here. Like it's spent here, it's spent that way. Hold on, you know. I'm just like, wait, I gotta make sure, you know, we're on where are we at with this? Because it's like we're going 90 degrees, then we're going 65 degrees, now we're going 55 degrees. Like where are we at? You know. So I'm just confused. But for him to, like I said, go onto his show, again, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. But I'm listening to him speak. And I'm hearing, like, you know, a person, I'm listening and I'm hearing, but as he's articulating or speaking on the matter, I'm hearing something else, you know, subtly, like, oh, wait a minute. You really did stage this. And then your apology is not even sincere. And the reason why, how many times did he break character? Ocho, come on, man. Oh, get it in. Hey, you better come get some of these. Oh, yeah. Hey, you ain't gay today. Okay, so.
Oh, man.
You're not really sorry because you're bragging about it. And not only are you bragging about it, but, you know, you're trying to use this as a smokescreen for all these allegations, you know? So I'm just like, okay. It was hilarious to me, but at the end of the day, it's like, if you got to compromise your integrity, then that just makes me look at you a little different, because for the most part, I tried to give Shannon the benefit of the doubt, saying, you know, he was a rather honest individual. We know when he lies about a particular player that plays in the NBA, but everything else, for the most part, Shannon was truthful, you know, and I could say that. But now it's kind of like, can I really take you serious now? Because, bro, you got a whole, like, Kim Kardashian situation over here, and you, like, really just tried to lie to us. So it's like, bro, I kind of got to look at you, you know, in a different light. You know, I would say your integrity and your honesty is going to be questioned every single time. I don't know if you want to, but I know Dart had it. Do you want to play the clip, or did you want to chime in on it before we do that, or what?
Real quick. We're second guessing the integrity of a man that was smoking blacks and drinking Hennessy on national television, which of course is fine. Like, I do it, minus the smoking part, fairly often, but I also don't, like, I don't know. I try not to be like that guy, but it's like, if you're just going to sit up there and perpetuate stereotypes, you might as well toss a pair of Timbs on. You might as well, you know, shuck and jive and do all that. And then when we get to this interview with him and Ocho, it does sound like two dudes talking about, like, yeah, they just hit, and that's great. But Shannon also knows his platform, and he knows that, like you know about code switching, right?
Yeah.
You know that it's performative, because that same conversation that he had with Chad Johnson, he could have had in the privacy of his home.
Yeah.
So to sit there and talking about, you know, he clapped them cheeks, you know, it lasted more than a minute, blah, blah, blah. It's like, cool, but I don't know. It's like you could have had that conversation via text message. You guys could have I don't know, Snapchatted each other or whatever. It was public when it didn't need to be. You really just could have apologized and kept it moving. That being said, I mean, if it was like, oh, what's the real fine one? If it was like Taylor Rooks or something like that, I could see why you'd be excited, and I could see why you'd want to put a smoke screen out there, right, to deflect. Yeah. The woman's name is Michelle and all that stuff. But other than that, it may be 2 or 3 other women on the planet. It's like, yo, like you put your money on the line, you put your brand on the line, and it didn't work out so well for Paul Pierce, and he didn't even care. Like he acted like he was in a position where he didn't care. Shannon Sharpe cares. Also, he's a grown man that refers to himself as Shay. So it's for better or for worse that you've seen a switch in his social priorities, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, if you can, go ahead and play that clip, because I want the viewers to hear this, because just so we can like actually break this down succinctly, because it's like,
I think you have to as the admin, because Dart said he split it up into clips.
All right.
Into a clip. He says it's in the design part of the show, because I can't see that on my end. This is the part of the show where we figured this stuff out for the second week, and then it'll be for the third week next week. Bless you.
Appreciate it.
No doubt. While you're going through that though, it's going to be interesting to see kind of like what like the hood side of celebrity thinks about like this. So obviously it's going to hit the Joe Budden podcast. It's going to hit the Breakfast Club. It's going to hit all of those outlets. And I'm really curious to see how they react to this whole thing. Because he didn't do anything wrong, you know?
No, of course not. No, of course not. Of course
cool.
Not.
But since when does that stop somebody from being ostracized?
Right. It's just, to me, it's like, don't give us this whole this circus show about, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know, yeah, it was me, let me be accountable. But then don't sit up there and brag about it, because again, look how it's affecting your immediate family. You know, look how it's affecting the others around you. Like, how do you think that's going to affect Chad Johnson every time he's in the airport and like, oh man, hey, you and Shannon go tag team next time? I mean, you're planting the seeds to things that you don't want to grow. And ultimately that's what's happening here. Like, some seeds are being planted, and it's like,
oh, this is going to be podcast material for the rest of this year.
Oh yeah,
easily.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And it's gonna come back to haunt them, you know, one way or the other. Dang, I had a really interesting.
So point. It's over in the designs tab. Is that where?
That's what Dart said. He said if y'all want to play the video, it's in the design.
Oh, okay. I got it. Here we go.
My phone wasn't hacked. It wasn't a prank. It was me being a healthy, active male. I mean, y'all thought I was bull jiving. Hey, Unc get it in. Real talk. Hey, Ocho. See, I don't, man, Unc be lying. Unc lying. Unc ain't lying.
Come on, man.
He sparks hard, Ocho. And, you know, I hit one early this morning.
Come on, man.
In all sincerity, 5 minutes before I came on, phone rings. It's Cat Williams. So I said, yeah, bro, what's up? The first thing out of his mouth, guess what he said, Ocho?
Oh, wow.
You ain't gay today?
Hey, listen.
I said, man.
Hey, listen.
Come on, Cat. He's like,
and this is the funny thing about it. Now you remember all the people talking trash and saying whatever they had to say, trying to assassinate your character, that you might be this, you might be this, or whatever it may be. So hell, I mean, I'm sitting back, I'm thinking, well, hey, it was a goddamn Michelle. It wasn't a Michael. Huh? You feel me? It wasn't a Michelle. It was, you know, it wasn't a Michael. It was a Michelle. So I gave you a little grace, but I was still a little upset. I was a little hurt. But the fact that it was a Michelle and not a Michael, Ah, that's my dog.
It's never been. It's never been a Michael. People that shouldn't have to answer for Shannon. Shannon's grown.
Yeah.
Shannon's 56.
Yeah.
Still get it in, y'all see. But anyway, that's I'm just saying, Ocho. I'm just saying, Ocho.
Hey,
it is what it is.
Listen, you boy, hey, listen, you talk about you was here when you was well. We said ain't nothing wrong with you, boy. You talk about your hips, ain't nothing wrong with your hips.
But the fact that in the process of that, you hurt people.
Yeah.
That's you embarrass people.
Yeah, you
and
hurt me.
I try to tell you, I say, Ocho, man, we gotta have that look. There has to be a certain level of professionalism at all times.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the key word right there. Because you got on me good.
Can I just like hop right in? I think I can't hear you.
By all means, go right ahead.
Thank you. Because like I get like secondhand, damn near third-hand embarrassment watching that. Because it's like, all right, I'm gonna speak in the third person like Shannon did. Does the speed engine get an opportunity to hit every once in a while? Yeah, once in a blue moon, it does happen. I'm not texting my boys. I'm not chatty pattying it up with fellow millionaire athletes in a public forum. Sidebar, I definitely need to get on Chad Johnson's dental, whatever he's doing, because his teeth are crazy white. So good for him.
Pearly white.
Yeah, really. But like, like if you really, really wanted to play that card, there's like at least 5 or 6 instances of homophobia within that like 2-minute clip. And whatever side of the fence you're on, like, like that reminds me of, and hopefully this is the only time I bring up his name, when dude off the Nets came out of the closet. He's one of the twins, one of those twin centers.
One of the Collins twins, yeah.
Right, Jason Collins.
Yeah, it wasn't him. It was Jaren. It's one of those two. Yeah.
One of them, right? I remember like this is how soft the world is, bro. Like, it caught the league by storm. Like, people didn't know what to do. You would have thought everybody was going to get HIV just from playing with this dude, right? Like, It was like this big thing. There were press conferences, and it was like as far from normalized as you could possibly be. I remember they asked LeBron about it, and actually, you can't find this quote anywhere anymore. LeBron said something along the lines like, if I had a teammate that was gay, I wouldn't trust him because he felt that he couldn't tell me everything in his life or something like that. And I thought, man, like, that's like one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. But here we are, X amount of years later, echoing that exact same sentiment. And whether you're gay or straight, it's just like, you can pick apart how offensive that would be to a homosexual individual, right? It's like, oh, it's not Mike, it's Michelle. Ooh, thank goodness. It's like, what if Shannon Sharpe is gay? First of all, who cares? A, B, what if his kids are gay? It's like, like, you got to read the room with stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And again, okay. It was Jason Collins. Thank you. So, and again, it just, I don't know, man. It makes Black people look bad yet again, reducing us to a Tyler Perry movie. I'm like already exhausted talking about it. See, there we go. I mean, if the woman was enjoying the act so much, why we don't hear that clearly while they were moaning. Shout out to CP. Thank you. Again, once the blue moon speed engine does hit, and you can tell when that happens. I'm only going to say that one time. Your turn.
No, so what you were saying, I agree 1,000%. You don't know who you're offended by doing it, right? Like Ocho said, I'm just glad it was Michelle, not a Michael, right? Bro, that's an insult. It's like directly. And then, like you said, you don't know if any of his children are, some of their friends or some of their relatives or anything. Like you don't know who you are possibly offending when it's when you're trying to clear your name, when you're trying to absolve yourself, it's like, okay, so you're gonna go ahead and risk offending a whole lot of people out here, unbeknownst to you, all because you want the self gratification. Now you want to change your perception, because remember, it's perception is reality. And before that, what were people saying when he got out the SUV with the green onesie on and the orange, whatever the person, whatever that was, people questioning his attire.
Like a damn Power Ranger.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's like, now you want to change how you're perceived. But I feel like when you have to go that route, like the sex tape and leaking audio, to me, that's the lowest of the low. Like, that's your last ditch effort. That's your last resort. Because you have no other way to do it in an upright manner, that now you have to take it to, let's just be honest, you have to take it to debauchery. And I'm like, Shannon, for you to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, gold jacket, you got all of these records, a 3-time champion, undefeated, you will compromise your reputation based off some rumors that you can't, I guess, eradicate, just based off of your association. I mean, at the end of the day, if that's who you associate with, that's cool. That doesn't mean that you're identified by them. I mean, the great Kareem said, basketball is what I do. It's not who I am. That's not who I'm defined as, right? And to me, Kareem epitomized that. So, Shannon, just because you associate with a particular individual, that doesn't mean that's who you are. But clearly, you had some insecurities there for you to go out your way and create this whole circus show, involving yourself in an act with another woman, and then you giving this fake apology. Again, and Jason Whitlock said this. He said he's a masturbator, no pun intended.
That's hard. That's hard. Bars, no pun intended. Man, it just writes itself. We gotta try to. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up because I might do one of those every 20 seconds. Go ahead,
bro. You're great. You're great, because what he did, it was intentional, and it's like, we know it's intentional, but yeah, you're trying to, like what the young kids say. You're doing all this reaching, like, what I'm saying, like, Shannon, you should have stretched in the morning before you start doing all this reaching. It's like, bro, you're not fooling us. Like, come on, man. It's like, I would just rather you just, hey, it got caught. Just put a message up there. Hey, look, y'all, my phone didn't get hacked. That was my bad. Keep it moving. You ain't got to do this whole
campaign.
Not even a campaign. You're doing a whole episode on the night clap trying to apologize. It's like, bro, that's not necessary. I mean, ESPN didn't fire you, which I find that mind blowing. Paul Pierce gets fired, but Shannon Sharpe doesn't. I mean, somewhere this is a double standard here, because Paul Pierce's wife was there. Shannon Sharpe's not married, but I mean, clearly what Shannon Sharpe was doing is by far, 5 times more diabolical than what Paul Pierce did, because he just had some exotic dancers. We know what
workers, professionals,
right?
Just professionals, just dancers. We don't know their specialty. I don't know if it was covered in the video or not, just yet, but. Oh, damn. Like, yo, this is why I cut you off all the time, because I forget shit. I forget stuff in like seconds.
Oh, man, I get it, dog. The brain it functions associatively. I get it.
Man. Like, these young kids, they don't get it. Like, hang on to it while you can.
Man.
Rob Parker, right, got fired for calling RG3 a cornball, right?
Yeah.
And to this day, I don't agree with it, but I don't understand how you make a decision like that. And it could be apples to oranges, I don't know. Or the Paul Pierce thing, make a decision like that, but then keep Shannon. I mean, obviously Shannon's a draw.
Yeah.
So that helps. But if I remember, I'm pretty sure Stephen A got fired from ESPN at one point as well, too. And that's before he, got like his contracts that I feel like he actually deserves, because he does work his butt off. But he's been I feel like ESPN has fired everybody at some point. So for this to go unpunished is crazy to me. And better yet, it's like kind of like Tyreek Hill doing this little touchdown celebration after getting pulled over. It's like, yo, like, I mean, come on, man. You gotta know your crowd, know the situation. Just like Ja Morant doing a pistol shooting celebration. Yeah. It's like, yo, like, all right, man, like sometimes arrogance needs to be rewarded, right? And it's like, I don't know, man. Maybe in that tax bracket stuff's different. But if I'm on some radar that could possibly cost my job, I'm not bragging about nothing. And I'm not doing or saying anything that can relate back to that until I sign some paper that says I'm in the clear. Like, as everyone says, period. You know what? I'm shocked he didn't say literally a bunch of times, quite honestly. I'm surprised he didn't say, you know, she was literally a woman and we literally had sex. You know, I'm literally a straight man. Like stuff like that. Like, that's the bar we're at now. And I thought Shannon's like that dude to me. Like, he's the one dude that's in incredible shape. But like when you go to watch him work out, he's not like real performative. The dude will put on 4 plates on each side, do like a rep of like 6 to 8, like it's nothing, no warm up, no nothing. Doesn't get up, doesn't punch the air, doesn't, you know what I mean? He's just like this country dude, right? So this whole thing seems so out of character to the point, like I said, that it does seem fake.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I said. Like I immediately was able to perceive that. I'm like, bruh. It's just the fact that, okay, the audio gets leaked, then it gets taken down. Then he goes on Nightclap and says, yeah, my guy Jordan, he was the one that, ironically, as much as he talks about Michael Jordan, his technician guy name's Jordan. Like, I don't believe in no coincidences, but yeah. He's the one that takes it down, and, you know, he goes through this whole spiel, but it's like, how are you apologizing in the same breath you're bragging? Really? And I'm just like, wow. I'm like, well, this is going to garner. Hey, this might get more views than his segment with Cat Williams now. I'm not even lying. Like, he is going to get some ratings.
Oh, bro, listen. He's been on that path for a while now. The guests he has on his show, like, I mean, we're talking like secondhand celebrities at this point. We're talking your who's the one chick that Deion Sanders actually brought to his camp to talk to his athletes about not putting all their faith in women. Brittany Renner. Like, when you're having guests like that on your show, you're pivoting, for lack of a better word. You're pivoting. Like, you might as well have gosh, I can't even think of any crappy people. Beetlejuice. You might as well have Beetlejuice, that small guy. You might as well have Beetlejuice on there, or that guy with the thick neck, or the that dude that was in prison that all the women like because he was super handsome and they loved his mugshot. Like, you might as well have people like that don't lend anything to society up on there. Then, if that's the route that you're going to take, because this is going to be crazy profitable for him. Make no doubt about it. It's going to be intensely profitable for him. So, man, like, these next couple of weeks are going to be nuts, especially when you start to see, and this is my theory anyways, you're going to start to see analysts getting out of pocket more with how they act because nothing happened.
Yep.
Because nothing happened. It's just like, I feel like I bring this up every week, but it's just like the Steelers locker room. Like, to me, Mike Tomlin lost that locker room the day he let Antonio Brown just live cast right out that room. Like, an example has to be made. Whether you black, white, straight, gay, whatever. Like, like something. I mean, maybe something was done, but I just can't wait. It's going to be a movie these next few weeks.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just, it's just how I seen it all play out. Just like, oh man, this is. I've seen so many memes that it's mind-boggling. Like, you got people recreating the little baby boy scene. You remember with Ving Rhames and I forgot her name, but Jody's mom.
I know the exact same.
Yeah. You've had people with, like, now I thought this was a hoax, but obviously it's got to be some validity to it. Shout out to Ticket TV, but he says Shannon Sharpe has been offered a role in the adult film industry to film a scene. So see, that's the point I'm making. Like, look at the doors that you're opening. Look at these seeds that you planted that did not need to be watered and fertilized in the first place. Look at the doors that you're opening that should not. You shouldn't even be remotely close to those doors, right? Because I feel like once you have to advertise your, intimate side for profit, like, is it, you've gotten to that point? I mean, I guess is that the male version of fans only? Like, come on, man, what are we doing? Like, that's essentially what he done. He created his own Shannon Sharpe only, and he's reaping the benefits. But I'm like, I've never believed in that. Like, I feel like that's not the upright way. You already had your platform, the nightcap, your own ESPN. You got Club Shay. Bro, that's enough. I mean, leaking this audio. So my thing with this, I don't. He should never question any other female that's on Fans Only, or he should never question a female that's an exotic dancer. He should have no type of criticism of them now, like none. After this, you can't come back from that.
I want to correct you, not because I'm obsessed with her, that I've been there several times, but it is OnlyFans, not Fans Only.
Oh, OnlyFans.
Just so we're accurate about the name of the site. It's gonna be, I'll bet you, friendly bet right now, or really whatever you want to put on it, or it could be a poll. Bro, he'll be in the next ESPN The Body issue, or whatever those crappy ones are that they put out.
Sure.
He'll be in it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll put anything on that right now.
I mean, yeah, it's like this. You gotta ride the wave, right? So that's the wave. So yeah, I definitely see that. I definitely see it.
It'll be that. He'll have his own, pre-workout that's in partnership with Viagra or something, and he's gonna make loot off this. Now, granted, I mean, he did what humans do. I sure wish I could get something out of that. That would yield 6 or 7 figures. I guess I just haven't hit that point yet. But
right.
I think right now it's like a blip on the radar, but the impact is going to be big, because can you imagine him coming at anyone's neck publicly ever again on any of these shows?
Mm-mm.
All it takes is all right. Hey, let me see your IG real quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see you log in. Let me see how quickly you can log into IG real quick, and he should have nothing to say.
See, when you put the precedent is established like that, right? Or you do it for publicity, whatever your means is. You just know you have to stand on that now. Like the young kids say, stand on business. Hey, you got to stand on business now.
Paul Pierce he's flipping over in his wheelchair, man. I'll tell you.
Now
he got to be so swole.
But and I was thinking about that. Like, I'm just wondering, what is Paul Pierce thinking with this whole?
What does Ja Rule think about all this?
Because I legitimately believe that Paul Pierce, he didn't really care. I think Paul Pierce was fine with getting fired, but I'm just still looking at it like his wife is beside him, so clearly she's fine with it. So what are y'all going to say about Shannon Sharpe? But like you said, Shannon Sharpe is a big draw. I mean, but my thing is Paul Pierce is a first ballot Hall of Famer from the NBA, so clearly he should be getting those ratings on basketball topics. But you got to go along to get along.
let me go one a little bit deeper then. Gosh dang, 2 times this man's name. Do you think it was easier to let go of Paul Pierce because at the time he was so anti-LeBron?
Yeah.
Whereas it's okay. Whereas it's harder to let go of Shannon Sharpe because he's so pro LeBron. Yeah,
and the reason being, Paul Pierce had already he actually put a comment out before he got fired. He was like, well, no, I take that back. It was after he got fired. He was like, he said it was beginning to get uncomfortable there because you always had to talk about LeBron. You always had to say nice things about him. And it's like Nikola Jokic, prime example, killing the NBA and all the advanced stats and everything, but you got to talk about LeBron. So that's why I said, Paul Pierce, he wasn't messed up about this, man, because he's seen, he could see the forest through the trees. Like, okay, so y'all just want to promote LeBron, and it's like, nah, I ain't really interested in that. Because notice how he was or how he is, my bad, because he's on Fox Sports now. You know, he can talk like Paul Pierce. You know, he can tell you the truth. You play good, I give you props. You play bad, no, I got to talk about you, which is how it's supposed to be. So, no, I legitimately believe that, yeah, that had some of their reasoning for firing him. That right there, yeah, I believe that had a pretty good bit of reasoning behind it, which I don't agree with, but yeah.
It's coming at a bad time too, because like Shannon Sharpe was also in the middle of this whole war of the sexes, you know, with the WNBA and the NBA.
Yeah.
And I have been a really big fan of his just kind of approach of like, now wait a second, all that hate for Caitlin Clark, where y'all at, right?
Yeah.
So I really do hope to see him in the near future, because I think that he is somebody that can put that, like, that can express that in a way that just doesn't have two people yelling at each other like a Stephen A. Smith would, right? So I do think that as of now, even with his clutch ties, I do appreciate a lot of what he has to say on television, because I think that he I don't care what anybody says. I'm positive he's a Jordan fan. I think everyone knows that. You know, the LeBron thing is for ratings. I think he came from a time where you could be a Jordan fan and you could be a quote unquote alpha and a quote unquote masculine, without it being triggering, right?
Yeah.
It's just how you are or how you operate based on how you were raised. And I think someone like him is very few and far between on television these days. I think maybe him, Skip, of course, even though he's kind of like switched sides a little bit. Michael Wilbon, what's Wilbon's partner?
Tony Kornheiser.
Kornheiser. Like, no, it's not Kornheiser. It is Kornheiser. No, it's not Kornheiser. It's is it?
I thought it was.
White dude, white bald dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so those guys speak their minds.
Yeah.
And they do it with no filter, no agenda, just like, yo, this is how I feel. Like, it's kind of up to you what you do with it.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of guys like that anymore. So I hope to see him around, but it is wild that he didn't get some kind of punishment for it.
No, because like you said, he's a part of the agenda. So, you know, they can't put their most prominent figure on television to, you know, promote the agenda and push the propaganda. So, no, they can't do that. And I mean, and my thing is, who's to say they're not a part of it? Or, you know, maybe they gave him some type of slap on the wrist, but they kept it private. You know, hey, you know what? Maybe just for a week, you know, we're not going to show you, kind of let this die down and then bring you back. Because like I said, I think ESPN, they just have their own way of doing things, and they'll publicize what they want to publicize, and they'll keep private what they want to keep private. So there's a chance that he may have been punished, but they're not gonna put that out. They're gonna make sure that's hush hush behind closed doors.
I don't that interview we watched, or that conversation with him and Ocho Cinco, that didn't come across as somebody that had been disciplined in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Unless he's one hell of an actor. Also, what I don't like is the arrogance of like, yo, I know you guys are out there trying to find out who the girl is. You know, stop calling Michelle's that I'm following and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, like this is on some Mean Girls type stuff right here. Like, it's not, it's cool if you know that people are checking for you like that. But to brag about it is wild to me.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to find out who it is. Stop asking, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, if this isn't the most high school drama, I got beat up after the prom nonsense I ever heard in my life, coming from a man that's almost 60.
Yeah.
And you got Chad Ochocinco yucking it up and laughing and empowering this talk. And it's like, where have all our heroes gone, man? Like, this can't be real. Or if it is real, it's got to be a blip. I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. And I don't know, like, did you notice how, I don't want to say awkward, but do you notice how he just kept looking around? He looked down, he looked over here. Notice he could just never stick straight on the camera. Did you pick up on that before he brought Ocho in?
I did not. I did not pick up on that.
Watch this. Just look, don't ignore his words. Watch his behavior. Just watch his behavior.
My phone wasn't hacked. It wasn't a prank. It was me being a healthy, active male. I mean, y'all thought I was bull jiving. Hey, Unc get it in. Real talk. Hey, Ocho. See, I don't, man. Unc be lying. Unc lying. Unc ain't lying.
Come on, man.
Now, again, look how many times he had to look down, right? What is that a telltale sign right there?
That you're lying? Or you're looking at something, you're looking at notes?
Right. It's the behavior, right? It's like you when you're not operating from a place of like being genuine, you know that it's like the body language. Even if we look at basketball, right? When we see certain players get the ball, prime example. When Derek Fisher or you saw Steve Kerr taking a jump shot from a Kobe Bryant or a Mike, did they look uncomfortable or did they look like they were ready for that moment, right? But then if you look at right, but if you look at like a George Hill, or somebody like that, when they get the ball, they got deer in the headlights because they weren't ready for that moment. See, what he's doing is showing us you're looking down, you're looking over here, you're over here, hey, the camera's right here, buddy. What's with all this? What's going on over here? I mean, is somebody threatening your life? Like, I'm trying to figure out what is grasping your attention for you to be doing all of this. That's a telltale sign right there. Like, come on, man.
Not only that. Oh, so let me get this point out real quick. And then I was like, yo, I have a decent idea. Not only that, but him saying Unc get it in while being humorous, okay? I can't stand when people obnoxiously over laugh at something because they know they're on camera.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at, and I didn't expect to get like this much into like the human character element of it, but it's like, yo, like you look crazy and stupid. Like you look like a groupie up there laughing at this thing that's not like, it's not funny. It's not funny. Mm-hmm. Oh, Unc gets it in. Oh, that's cool. Steam Engine gets it in. Hoop God gets it in. Mm-hmm. Everybody in MJFB gets it in. Everyone in the world gets it in. What's funny about that? I don't know what those three things in his hands were. I assume it had something to do with sexual intercourse. I'm not sure. I'm a very pure person, but it's not like I knew.
It's an enhancement.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. I knew it had something to do with sex, but I wasn't sure. I don't know what sex is. So it's like, it's all performative.
Yeah.
All of it. And to embrace it and to support it and yuck it up like that, it was embarrassing. And again, maybe we're looking too deep into it, but I feel like if it was two nobodies up there on TV, we'd be laughing at them. Like if they were on any of the countless shows, relationship shows on YouTube, where you take one person from one extreme and then the other person from the other extreme, and you put them on both sides of each other, and you ask them the question that's going to make them disagree the most. Like, that's basically what it was. And it's gross, bro. It's just, it makes me uncomfortable watching that. Just out of, like I said, second, third hand embarrassment. Since we're since he's speaking in the third person, I'm not a huge fan of that already. And it's just ugly. It's just a bad look. But I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, and I want to agree with before we open up the floor for callers. So shout out to the sporting page. He said it's tasteless, which I agree. And he said Shannon is taking that Kim Kardashian route, allegedly. Yes, he is. And that's why I said, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, if you have to compromise yourself in that manner, it's like you don't even have respect for yourself. Not only do you not have respect for yourself, but then you are willing to compromise your own integrity and your honesty. Because again, if a person can't be truthful in a small matter, in a small situation, well, how can you trust him to be truthful and honest in a large matter, you know, in a gigantic situation. And I mean, it's just like,
Why
okay,
are
Shay.
we surprised though? Why are we
Right.
surprised? Like I said, this was the same dude drinking Hennessy and smoking black and milds on national television.
Exactly. I
Knowing
forgot
damn
about
well,
this.
yo, black and milds are disgusting.
Yeah, forgot
What
about
goes
this.
in? When you take out the disgusting part and you put in the good stuff? That's what makes sense. Smoking
Yep.
a black on national television is dirty business.
Yep.
So between that and the Hennessy and the I'm sure he's come out there with Popeye's chicken once or twice. I may have phased it out of my brain at this point.
I see what I get when what you're saying. I forgot about that. See, when he was doing that, that was a persona that he was posturing out to people, right? That I'm gonna be on TV and with the Hennessy and you know, it's like, okay, you're perpetuating a stereotype that ultimately you have a problem with outside of the, you know, the network that you're on. Because
Right.
again, in one breath, he wants to be a freedom fighter and, you know, for the people and blah, 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 all this social justice. But then you do a complete 180. Like you said, you coming up there on a televised show, broadcasted all over the world with backwoods and Hennessy. Really?
And no one said anything. Not one person publicly said, like, yo, like, you watch the Boondocks? Like,
Right.
Do you know what you're doing? Like, do you
Right.
understand that? Like, I understand you're treating it as a joke, and it would be really easy to manipulate Shannon Sharpe into thinking him bringing that element is somehow being progressive or quote unquote woke or whatever. But
Yeah.
it like you said, it's a persona, right? I've been watching Shannon Sharpe the majority of his career. I couldn't stand the Ravens back in the day as a Steelers fan. Not a Denver fan at the time. I'd never seen him do or say anything like how he carried himself on those shows.
Right.
And it's really easy to sit there and say the low hanging fruit of, well, I'm just bringing a voice to the voiceless, bro. What do you mean? And I'm not
like
saying
that.
he said that, but like that's the easiest way you can justify that. Well, he's a black man on TV. You should just let him cook. Nah, we're not doing that, bro. Sorry.
No, not like that. Absolutely not. So yeah, callers, we dropped the link in the chat. Any of y'all want to feel free to chime in on this discussion? Got some great
Especially
college
if you
football.
disagree.
Right. Anybody
Especially if you
feel free
disagree.
going up, speak your piece. Waiting on these college football games to come on. Hey, so
they're killing
while we're
your-
waiting on them,
Go ahead.
what do you
Yeah,
think about what do you think about Coach Prime, man? Like, has he made his match? Like, what you think? He's going through some rough patches. Like, what's your take on Coach Prime?
I think Coach Prime, like, yo, I love his he has an edge to him that I feel like is unmatched, right? I feel like, and this is just last season. I can't speak on this season so far. His school became more about his brand than it did about football. And it's kind of like the Lakers. It's like, yo, why get this much airtime when this team's not that great? And Primetime is selling more of his sunglasses than he is season tickets. So what is this really about? And not to mention his sons kind of act like douches. Excuse my language. I'm trying not to. Well, that's as much as I'm a cuss. They kind of act like that. And it's like, yo, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I also like what he was doing with the transfer portal and all that. Like, to me, in the beginning, that was dope because it's like, all right, you found this loophole. That's great. Yo, I will say, as a black head coach, you need to get whatever you can to get you up to snuff, up to par. I do not like, however, when things are equated to race as often as they are. And I felt like that happened a lot with him. I felt like that came from his fans. I felt like he ended up being one of them, like, yo, he can't do no wrong just because he's black. And it's like, nah, his team is trash in the grand scheme of things. And while it happens all over college football, he gets a pass just because of the color of his skin. And it's like, yo, if we're trying to make progress, you got to treat everybody the same. And if he's a bad coach, he's a bad coach. And again, Mike Tomlin is my coach. He's my coach. But yo, these last couple of seasons, I'm like, I'm kind of surprised Buddy's still here. But they always hang it up on the fact that he's never had a losing season. Which, you know, take it or leave it, is a statistic. It's a statistic that shouts, all right, cool, we're average, but it is a statistic that I think has helped him maintain this job. But what has Coach Prime won to get this much notoriety? Right?
Like you said, if you look at it from, like you said, just the optics, right? Yeah, it does look like it's more about the brand. And don't get me wrong, I think he is I think he's a pretty good coach, but you can't keep, you know, coming up short like this against these top-notch teams, because now it's going to start to, you know, question the legitimacy. Like, okay, are you not getting the guys here? Like, what's going on? You know, it's like, all right, you win, you know, turned their program around at Jackson. Salute. But did you kind of like overstep your boundaries now? Like, is this a little bit too much? Because it's kind of like, what's really going on here? You know, it's like, I don't want to be too quick. Like, I don't want to make a hasty observation, but it's like, all right, what are you going to do against the in-state rival? You know, because we give you that 1 year, you know, to turn it around, but we can't keep having, you know, these same issues, because it's like now we're not seeing any progress. So,
bro, Mark Jackson getting fired from the Warriors will echo in eternity as one of the most, maybe the most unjust firing of a black coach in our lifetime.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. And then not to get another coaching job elsewhere.
Yeah, now that I think about it, because Prime is not winning, right? Keeps his job. And it's a different sport. I understand that.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers somehow manages to keep a job, although he's blown more 3-1 leads than anybody in basketball history, right? Ty Lue, proven winner. But every once in a while, like, you get these coaches and it makes you really wonder, like, like, is it just the color of their skin that helps them keep their job? Dennis Green with the Vikings held on to his job for a minute, right? You look at Dion, and it's like, granted, like, I know you bring fans. That's great. Your team is trash, and you're gonna start impacting kids' futures real soon.
Yep.
Oh, Prime's the LeBron of coaching. That's interesting. Shout out to Rap God Reloaded. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I opened to chat up some of the callers. I don't know. Maybe nobody. I'm going to assume that the chat is in agreement with us.
And I'm also going to say I'm not going to be interested in any pornography that Shannon Sharpe does.
Yeah, me neither. Like,
that's too much man for me.
Yeah, I'll pass on all of that. But yeah, man, I definitely enjoyed this episode, man. I'm about
Marvin
to tap
Lewis, great example.
Into these college games. Oh yeah, I forgot about Marvin Lewis.
Another one.
But I don't think did they ever get? No, they never made it past the second round, like past the divisional.
Who?
Marvin Lewis.
I can't remember that far back.
So
I can't remember that far back.
Yeah.
Wait, is he the we play to win the game?
No, that was Herm Edwards.
That's Herm Edwards.
Yeah.
Jets guy, Herm Edwards. Okay.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Herm did get another gig with the Chiefs, though. It just, didn't. I mean, I think they made the playoffs a couple seasons, but, of course, he ain't doing nothing like Andy Reid did. So.
Well, it's different when you got, a dude that can throw behind his back just casually.
I mean, yeah, he's throwing
greatest tight end of all time.
Right. He's throwing no look. He's throwing a football no look pass like basketball. So yeah, I mean, what do you do with that? Ain't no competing with that.
Bro,
Yeah.
yo, the Chiefs are wild, man. Like, why can't it just be football? Like, yo, all these ties to to politics, and we're not. I don't think we're gonna delve down that road. But it's like so much deeper than football. Just with the Chiefs, and it's like even if you take all that crap out, yo, they're such an unstoppable. It's not fair. Like it's not right. It's like watching. You remember right after? I think it was right after Deflate Game. And the Patriots just said, you know what? All right, screw it. We're just gonna. It was their. It was,
reloaded. No, go ahead. I'm just.
oh, okay. Yeah. It's you know, they just decided. All right, we cheated. All right, cool. We're gonna go 16-0 in the regular season, and we're gonna beat every team by 45. Right.
Right.
It's like, yo, like the Chiefs just if it ever came down to it, I feel like they could just do that. Like if they were upset.
I sincerely think they could. I mean, they're a great team. I can't hate on them. They're a great team.
What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? I didn't know how much you wanted to delve into the Allen Iverson topic because that's a whole other thing. But I do know that we should at least throw it out there in terms of where it could go and how people view it.
Yeah, so to sum up this episode, of course, we addressed the Shannon Sharpe alleged leaking of the audio that his team proclaimed got hacked, and he later came back and cleared it up and said he didn't. Yeah, that whole circus show. But no, our next episode, we will be just the great Allen Iverson. Why some people criticize him I would say they overly criticize him to an extent. Why do some people, overly hype him up? Because I think that there should be I would say an even keel. Like, okay, let's just accurately put him, in this category based off, 4 or 5 different criterias, and then go from there. Just make a pretty fair assessment. Again, he's one of my favorite players, but at the same time, I'm not going to put him in the category with a Dwayne Wade. We know why. Dwayne Wade was a championship level player, and he proved it. So yeah, that'll be right. So that'll be a little bit of what we'll be discussing. In addition to his global impact, his influence, and things of that nature, because I think a lot of people, they will misconstrue that and want to put him on a high pedestal. I can understand, but I don't agree with it because just because you're influential and impactful, that doesn't put you, in the likes of guys who, again, are championship level players.
Dark, I think if you're still listening, I think it might be beneficial to get a dang it, what is it? A poll out there to see which is gonna happen first. Shannon Sharpe doing an OnlyFans or the identity of the woman or man, whatever, the identity of the person, becoming public. Which one's going to happen first?
Yeah.
Because my thing is like, yo, Shannon Sharpe will be on OnlyFans before this year is over. He's wild if he does. All right, go, man. You might as well just go all in.
I believe it. I don't want to see it either. Like, nah, you keep that over there. I don't see no advertising, none of that.
But yeah, that's all I had. I think we're almost at an hour.
For sure.
I feel like this story is only going to progress, and it's we're about to see some fireworks.
So Dart, if you would kindly join us, what would be your take? If you have a take on the matter. I didn't know he was still in here. He said he's still here. Let me see.
No callers, huh?
Yeah, like I said, everybody must be in agreement.
All this interaction in the chat.
I guess they say sometimes, hey, you might put out a good enough show that everybody just agrees wholeheartedly.
What's Kennel's real name?
Who is that?
Kennels.
I think that's is that Goatcast, YT Goatcast.
Yes, is that GoCast? But he came up last week. He's dope to talk to. I saw him in there earlier. I saw him in the chat earlier, having something constructive to say.
Welcome, Dark.
Hey,
Or-
yo. Janet Kennels, his real name's Dan. He's YT Hoops. Janet Kennels. He's
YT
probably got
Hoops.
like
Got it.
15
Okay,
other
cool,
YouTube
cool.
accounts.
Yeah.
But what's my take on what's going to happen first? The OnlyFans or the chick's identity?
Yep.
Yeah.
Chick or man's
Yeah, it could have been a man. That's
or non-binary,
true.
whatever,
Mich-
alien,
Mich-
whatever.
Yeah, the trans Michelle to Michael or something. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
No, if I had to say what was going to happen first, I would say because I think if he does an OnlyFans, I think he gets too much money from ESPN specifically. I don't think he wants to jeopardize that, but so I think if what will happen first, it would be the identity of the woman. It just because, excuse me, the paparazzi or however you want to put them, the snoopers, you know, they know what they're doing. They can figure it out. But
Doesn't
I'm
that
sure
sound a lot like the ghost hunt from when what's his face got fired from the Celtics, and they what was it? Jalen Rose came out and said that the identity of the woman involved also needs to be made public, and that became like a whole thing. He ended up losing his job shortly after that as well.
Wait, who was that?
Jalen Rose.
Oh,
I think.
yeah, I think you said that. So, but the only reason I think that didn't go public was because it was a Celtics vice president that he had, the coach, Udoka, I believe his name is.
Ime Udoka, yeah.
Yeah, I think he coaches the Rockets now, if I'm not mistaken. But the what he had done, I think the real reason why it didn't get out is because they didn't want the vice president didn't want the embarrassment. I think they really just, even though it did come out, you know what I'm saying? But just to the point of it is to put a name and a face and to connect who it actually was. That I think they really just wanted to keep that under wraps. So with the Shannon Sharpe thing, unless it is some sort of high profile woman that was cheating on, you know, a businessman husband, associate, like, I don't know, like an ESPN executive's wife or something. Not saying that's the case, but just as a hypothetical. Otherwise, I think that that would come out first before an OnlyFans. If he does an OnlyFans, I don't think it would be pornography either. I think it would probably be some sort of weird underwear thing, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it would be like full blown hardcore. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
story of my life.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like, for that hardcore stuff, I don't think he would ever do that. But if he was going to try and capitalize off of this moment, he might do some sort of like body, you know, like risky pictures kind of thing, or, you know, maybe an underwear, like I was saying. But I don't see him doing anything more than that on OnlyFans. I think it's just too much for his media personality to be doing. People would steer away from that. He's got his own show, but outside of that, no, I can't see him doing a quote unquote real OnlyFans. And the identity of the woman, I don't know if it'll ever come out either. But if I had to say what would be first, it'd be that.
Interesting. I think both will happen. Let me address that young disciple. You dudes doing shows on Shannon's sex life. No, we are doing it on his extra transparency into his personal life
and his lying about the situation,
and his lying about it, and how nobody seems to talk about the fact that he was lying about it, caught lying about it, and then it's just left at that. So it's deeper than a man's sex life. And I mean, if that is what we were doing the episode about, I mean, that's cool. That's what we're doing it about. You know, people aren't stuck here if that's how it's perceived. But and again, this is you notice you brought this up. Who God, you know, when people are lying or nervous, right? Like they're shifty or moving around. They don't know what to do. You see how calm we are. Like, yeah, I'm about to fall asleep in the middle of this. And there's no personal feelings in this. There's no ulterior motive. It's just people talking about what might be interesting to them at the time and place. And that's really all we're trying to do is talk about those things, especially if it's outside of the typical Jordan versus LeBron debate, which people seem to complain about also. So you can't make everybody happy. But you know, the older you get, the easier it is to get that.
Right.
Real fast, guys, I gotta get going, but for the people watching, go check out hold on one second. If y'all like Speem Engine and Hoop God, go check out their channels at Speem Engine and at HoopGod_23. They got their own stuff on their own channels. And then you can interact with them there more directly as well. But otherwise, I wanted to say you guys had a great show. And for the people watching, they're going to have their next episode on Allen Iverson on Tuesday. I talked to Rex. He said he wouldn't be able to show up at 6 p.m., but he said maybe 7. So we could talk offline about that.
Cool.
But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great rest of your show. I don't know if you're shutting it down soon. And thank you, live chat, for tuning in, supporting these guys, supporting the Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best channel as well. So I hope you all have a great day. And Michael Jordan fans are the best.
All right, Dark.
Indeed.
Now we got to do 2 closings.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get creative with that. So so that'll do it for our show. Hope to see you guys back when we do our Allen Iverson breakdown on his illustrious career, all the highs, lows, and everything in between. And that's all I have. Hey, Speem, what you got, bro?
That's it. Dart, if you're still here, please put that I'm forgetting basic words. What is it when people vote on stuff? Yo, help me before it gets embarrassing. Poll, yeah, thank you. Oh, bars, poll. See, there you go. Put that poll up if you can, because I'm really curious to see how people think this is gonna pan out. And as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. This is only our 2nd episode together. I've never even met this man in real life, but he's a dope individual.
Likewise.
Thank you, sir. Shout out to Hoop God. Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best. AOH, Nick, all that whole crew.
All right, y'all have a good evening.